Caffeine. Your brain has a chemical called adenosine. All day long, it builds up slowly, like notifications piling up on your phone. Each one is your brain saying, hey, we're tired, maybe stop. Caffeine doesn't give you energy, it doesn't create fuel, it literally just blocks adenosine from being heard. So now your brain isn't rested, it's just unaware. That's why caffeine feels clean at first and absolutely awful when it wears off. Because while you're ignoring tiredness, your brain is adapting. It adds more adenosine receptors, which means tomorrow one coffee won't work. So you add another, and another, and another, and the cycle continues. Caffeine won't destroy your life, but it teaches your brain something important. Discomfort is something to override, not to listen to. That lesson shows up again later. Nicotine. Nicotine moves faster. It hits dopamine almost immediately. And dopamine isn't happiness, it's importance. It tells your brain, this matters, remember this, repeat this. Here's the part nobody explains. Nicotine doesn't make you feel good long term, it makes you feel normal after it already messed you up. So your brain isn't chasing pleasure, it's avoiding withdrawal. Biologically, nicotine tightens blood vessels, raises heart rate, and keeps your stress system on standby. That's why people say it calms them down. It doesn't. It just temporarily stops the stress it created. So now your brain learns no nicotine equals danger. And once your brain believes something is tied to survival, logic stops working. Alcohol. Alcohol slows your brain down. Specifically, it boosts gamma aminobutyric acid, in short, GABA, the quiet down chemical, and suppresses glutamate, the think clearly chemical. That's why alcohol makes you relaxed and also confident about terrible ideas. But your brain hates imbalance. So when alcohol slows everything down, your brain compensates by becoming more anxious. That's why frequent drinking worsens anxiety, ruins sleep, makes stress harder to tolerate. So people don't drink to feel good anymore, they drink to feel normal. Cannabis, famously known as weed. Your brain already has a system for cannabis like chemicals. It's called the endocannabinoid system. It regulates mood, memory, motivations, stress. TCH hijacks it. At first, your brain is like, oh, this is easier, so it adapts. It produces less of its own chemicals, which means when you're sober, motivations feels low, emotions feel flat, stress hits harder. Weed doesn't usually crush lives overnight, it just quietly pauses growth. Life keeps moving on, you don't. Prescription misuse. Prescription drugs are strong because they're precise. Painkillers silence pain signals. Benzones quit fear circuits. Stimulants push focus and dopamine. When misused, your brain adapts aggressively. Tolerance builds, stopping hurts. And suddenly, you're not taking something to feel better, you're taking it to not fall apart. A lot of serious addictions start here, not from recklessness, from trust. Stimulants. Stimulants are the ultimate liars. They don't just make you happy, they hijack the reward system that's supposed to tell you when you've actually achieved something. Usually, your brain drips dopamine when you finish a project or win a game. Stimulants just kick the door down and flood the room. It's a chemical shortcut to a feeling you haven't earned. Suddenly, your heart is a drum, your pupils are dinner plates, and you feel like the smartest person in the room. You're talking 100 miles an hour, convinced that every thought you have is a stroke of genius. But while you're up there on that peak, your brain is panicking. It's looking at this massive flood of chemicals and saying, this is too much. We need to protect the system. To survive the flood, your brain starts pulling its receptors back, like closing the shutters during a storm. It's trying to dull the noise. This is called downregulation. The problem is once the drug leaves your system, those shutters stay closed. Now the natural dopamine from a sunset, a good meal, or a joke with a friend can't get through. The world hasn't changed, but your ability to feel it has. Everything looks gray, everything feels heavy. You aren't just tired, you're emotionally hollow. This is where the interest comes in. People think they're using a drug to get energy, but you're actually just draining your backup battery. When you're on stimulant bender, you aren't eating, you aren't sleeping, and your body is burning through its core resources just to keep up with the chemical demand. When you finally stop, you realize you've spent next week's energy today. You've borrowed the motivation you were supposed to use for your exams or your jobs, and now you're in a deficient. Beyond the brain, your body is paying too. Stimulants put your fight or flight response into overdrive. Your blood vessels constrict, your blood pressure skyrockets, and you're putting years of wear and tear on your heart in a matter of hours. You might feel like a god for 20 minutes, but your heart is working like it's running a marathon it never signed up for. Meth. If cocaine is a leak in the system, meth is dynamite at the base of the dam. Biological survival, like eating a great meal or falling in love, releases about 100 to 200 units of dopamine. Meth alone releases 1200. It doesn't just block the recycling system, it forces your neurons to dump their entire lifetime supply of feel good chemicals all at once. The result isn't just high, it's a state of chemical mania that the human brain was never designed to handle. You feel invincible and tireless, but because you just dumped the entire reservoir, the crash isn't just sadness, it's the complete absence of joy. You have burned the bridge that lets you feel happiness. Then the body starts to eat itself. Meth dries out your saliva glands instantly. Without that protection, the acid in your mouth starts dissolving your teeth. This is the infamous meth mouse, but it's not just the acid, it's the bruxism. You grind your teeth so hard from the stimulant tension that they crack and crumble under the pressure. Then comes the aging. It's called formication, the sensations of bugs crawling under your skin. It feels 100% real, so you peek and you scratch. You dig at your own skin trying to get the mites out until you are covered in open sores that won't heal because your immune system is still alive. But the true final boss of meth isn't physical, it's the psychosis. After about 72 hours of no sleep, your brain breaks. You start seeing things. These are like the colorful hallucinations of mushroom, these are dark paranoid figures that stand in your peripheral vision. And this is the part that scares me the most. Cocaine dulls your receptors, meth kills them. It's a neurotoxic. The chemical reaction is so violent it shreds the nerve endings in your reward center. We have scans of brain that look like they've had stroke just from a drug use. It can take 2 years for those trees to grow back. 2 years of a gray, empty world. That is the price of the super high. You pay for those 12 hours of mania with 2 years of silence. If this video helped you understand even one thing about your brain, your body, or someone you care about, then yeah, it mattered. And if you ever seen someone you love slide into this stuff, or if you've been close to yourself, you're not weak, you're just human. If you want more videos like this, real explanations, hit subscribe because this channel is about understanding things before they understand you. And drop a comment, tell me what surprised you the most, or what drug topic you want broken down next. We'll learn faster together. Take care of your brain because you only get one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.